So the Premiers back at home on a sunny Sunday afternoon, taking on these West Tigers who are looking for their first win of the season. And Sarah Togatuki, well, there's a statement right from the outset, running it back over the 20.
She was outstanding last week, Ben. 11 runs for 112 metres, 3 tackle breaks. So they'll be looking to her to really step up today.
Julia Erasenbale there, a dummy half, finding Kristen Pio. It was a real strength of the Tigers through the middle. And this is Nevada George. Nor, and Pio with her second carry of this opening set. Round 6 this of the NRLW. And the kick is safely pouched by Tamika Upton, who brings it back. She was dominant. She's dominant every week, Kylie, but she was most impressive last week. A double against the Eels, leading the Knights to that 20-point win.
She's an outstanding player, and I know that the Tigers will be making sure they're really aware of where Tamika is on every play today. But we've seen that first set from the Tigers. They just went through the middle, got to their kick. A great kick into the corner now, and they just need to back that up with a great set of defence.
Roach through to Clydesdale. Through the initial contact of McGlone.
She's another one that last week, you know, we speak a lot about Tamika Upton, but the work that Yasmin Clydesdale does week in and week out is unbelievable. She had 17 runs for 200 run metres last week.
Emma Butler now for Newcastle, playing the ball just inside the 40. They made some good metres in this set. Georgia Roach controlling the team, the 5/8, with Southwell on the bench today, and this is bouncing up for Tess Staines. And Newcastle, oh, they're going to score! It's an absolute calamity for the West Tigers. Tess Staines has thrown the pass in her own in goal, and I don't think Hannah Southwell will score an easier try than that.
Wow. I agree. I don't think Hannah Southwell will score an easier try, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what Tess Staines was thinking here. It was a great kick here as we watched from Georgia Roach. Great kick up in the air. She got herself in a position, let it bounce, just needed to take the tackle, but I'm not quite sure what she was thinking then, whether she got a call.
Looked like it from that perspective. Didn't seem like there was a call from Tiana Lee Thorne. And Tess Staines, who was dropped for last week's match against Brisbane, restored with Rakia Horn and Tufunga both injured. And she's just thrown it straight to Hannah Southwell, who could not believe her luck. Christmas on the first day of September for Hannah Southwell, and Newcastle lead 4-0.
Spoke about the Tigers having a great first set in attack, getting to a kick, backing it up with some great D, but yeah, I'm sure Tess will need to just shake that off now. It's early in the game, and Tigers will need to get themselves back into their grind.
So Roach, I should say Gallagher converts, who is back with the goal-kicking duties this week. And 6-0 Newcastle lead the West Tigers, and when they're the back-to-back defending premiers, Kylie, you do not need to give them these kind of invitations to score.
Not that simple either. So I'm just looking at where Tess Staines is. I think she's in the fullback role there.
Have to see how it plays out. Certainly looks as though that is the case at the moment.
Can explain why she was back in that position. I can't see that Bo Vicky Welsh is out on the field, so might need to get a check.
Come on.
It's a great pickup. I'm pretty sure she's sitting down there on the bench, so this is a really intriguing move. We'll try and get some more information as Evie Jones takes the kickoff. So interesting, because Vetty Welsh was named in the starting side, so if there has been a change and it hasn't been passed on, Tigers will definitely know about it, as now Rima Butler takes it up over the 30 and maybe the 40 for Newcastle. This is why she's been promoted to the starting side in recent weeks. Now Tamika Upton. Newcastle are smelling blood in the water here. There are some concerning signs for the Tigers. Evie Jones debuted last week at halfback. Higgins And Southwell, now Upton, finding Clydesdale. And she finds the offload to Upton, who looked for the cutout pass initially, decided against it. Now she does flick it out the back, and this is scooped up by McGlone.
Bit of a concern there. Hannah Southwell. Play's been stopped now, but she is down on the ground there, clutching out. I hope it's not a knee after she's come back from that ACL injury she had 2 seasons ago. But yeah, really interesting in regards to the Tigers on why Bo hasn't started that game. So as you said, we'll try and find out what's happened there.
Well, the Southwell one is a concern because there was only a glancing blow, maybe off the knee of a Tiger. Maybe she rolled her ankle stepping on a boot of an opponent.
Yeah, luckily it looks like it is the ankle. So
as you said, so round 1, 2022, she suffered that ACL injury against Brisbane in that first match of the season. Missed the first premiership year and then back last year to help lead the Knights to the title.
I have to say, she's been looking outstanding this season for the Newcastle Knights. Hannah, she's got herself nice and fit again, and it's the Hannah that we seen a few years ago back out there playing again. So hopefully it's not too serious for her. We might see her back out there today.
So the likely change for the Knights looks as though it will be Romanak, who's just doing a few run-throughs on the sideline and readying herself to come on. So Newcastle with Maynard and Southwell on the bench, but then they've only got the 2 front rowers, so lacking middles for this game. It's not the injury you want early on, is it?
No, Ben Jeffries will be hoping that Hannah is right, but she seems to be walking okay off the field, so fingers crossed for her.
So Bovedi Welsh, he's got the ball in her hands now, just 10 short of the halfway line. And now Moore. Salmanor goes to the right. Nevada George, Pilia, Olatsambalea. Now Talatina. Very versatile player in the second row. Has played in the halves. Togatuki with that footwork at the line.
Last tackle, release. Last hit coming.
Salmanor. George at first receiver, then Lutu, and it's been knocked on by Staines. Gee, it's an unhappy
First
return
comes Tigers on last,
for
change
Tess
over.
Staines in this match.
That looks so promising there for the West Tigers as well. So we do see Bo out in that centre position, and Tess is still playing that fullback role. So maybe Bo's got a little bit of an illness.
Held. Sarah, release the arm. Markers lock in.
But yeah, they're looking promising there. So good signs for Tigers.
Sheridan Gallagher back from a knee injury. She's missed the last 2 games for Newcastle. Higgins and Rima Butler. What a start to this game from Rima Butler. Look at this. Almost about 20 metres. What's she got here to start? 3 carries for over 40 metres, and now potentially an injury.
Just check that there's no weight on the legs.
Is there a hint of a hip drop here, Kyle?
The referee's asked the bunker to check on this one. So great run. She's busted through 2 or 3 players then, and then Sarah Tokatiki comes from behind. I don't think it's a... Well, I'm not going to actually comment because it's always wrong. So.
Well, she loses a feet. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Togatuki loses a feet, pulls down on the hip. And, well, this year and lately they've disappeared somewhat. So nothing doing there from the referee's perspective, and the Knights immediately shift it. Sheridan Gallagher's on the outside. Good luck stopping Sheridan from there. 10-0 Newcastle. Massive danger signs for the West Tigers because the Premiers are purring here in Newcastle.
There's a great shift here from the Newcastle Knights. As we've seen, Rima Butler was taken down and injured. She got up and played the football. Plenty of time for the West Tigers to get the defence set, but once again, Tamika Upton onto Evie Jones, and then it was just through the hands. And as you mentioned, Sheridan Gallagher, good luck stopping her at high speed. She's such a powerful player, and the Newcastle Knights go in for their second try.
Do I get in trouble for asking the question, Kylie, how close is she to rep selection? How close was she this year? Because obviously first season she was so impressive, wasn't she? in the NRLW and just continuing that on.
Yeah, she was part of the extended squad that I had running into Origin 1, and yeah, definitely was pushing the other outside backs. Obviously, as you know, we're very blessed with outside backs in New South Wales, so but she's definitely a player that we'll be keeping a very close eye on moving forward and for future years ahead.
And I know that she's been very angry the last 2 weeks that she's been left out of the side. Ben Jeffries has been telling me she's wanted to play through that knee injury, but he said no, physio's advice, you're going to have a couple of week rest.
The one thing I loved about Sheridan was she's always asking questions, always wanted to learn. You know, she's still new to the game, obviously coming from soccer, so still learning the game, but is willing to learn and wanting to know more about it. But I actually see her moving from the wing and probably into a back row role, getting her hands on the footy a bit more with the way she runs and how powerful she is.
And she is a great striker of the football with that football background. You can see it there, but just not online. So 10-0 Newcastle lead the West Tigers. Don't forget, straight after this one here on Fox League, it is the Newcastle Knights taking on the Gold Coast Titans. It is a must-win game for the Knights if they want to keep those finals hopes alive. Adam Elliott, he'll be part of the side that is going to take on the Gold Coast Titans in the second last round of the regular season. And if they win Newcastle, it is going to set up that final game of the season next week against the Dolphins. 4 p.m. What a finish to the NRL men's competition.
Weren't the Dolphins outstanding last night?
Oh, how good. Especially if you tipped them as well in your footy tipping comp. As here comes Gallagher, bringing it back over the 20 for the Knights.
Wait, Sarah.
They just need to get their hands on some footy here, the West Tigers, but at the moment Newcastle making some easy meters. Nation Albert Jones, penalty here.
Strip, tackle's complete.
So that's a bit unlucky for the Tigers because the held call came almost as the strip was executed there by Christian Pio. Things just not going the Tigers' way.
No, and unfortunately we've seen this happen in the second half last week, but they kept handing the football over to the opposition, and meaning they had to turn up and make a lot more tackles, so which is very fatiguing. So hopefully they can hold them out for the 6 and get the foot in their hands.
Romanak, who has come on for Hannah Southwell, if you missed that injury, off with an ankle complaint in the opening minutes. Evie Jones, now to Upton. Sheridan's off again, and Sheridan, has she got a double? Yes, she has. What a return, back from a knee injury. She's got a double in a few minutes, and the Knights 14-0. They are racing the clock here at McDonald Jones Stadium.
Yep, and it's down that right edge again, and it was great work from Tamika Upton setting this play up for the right edge. So we look at this, a replay here. So Evie Jones onto Tamika, very similar to the try they scored previously, just through the hands, and once again, Sheridan Gallagher, too strong. But that edge for the West Tigers on that left, they really need to start sorting out some line speed and getting up and putting pressure on those ball players, because that's twice exactly the same format and shape that the Knights have run, and they've come up with points.
Concern for the Tigers, you sense pre-game. Brett Morley was out there just running through a few things with the back line, and you sensed the fact that Tufunga, Rakia Horn, two vastly experienced centres, not being in the back line. It has been proven to be a problem.
And then we've seen that, you know, obviously something's wrong with Bo Vetty Welsh, because she's actually defending out in that centre position as well. So even that late shift of a fullback.
Decisions under review. Looking at grounding
for review.
Well, this is interesting. Peter Goff in the bunker. They suspect that Sheridan Gallagher's dropped it here. What do you think, Kylie? She looks to transfer it from one hand to the other. Oh, it's dropped there.
At this point, we can see a clear separation between the hand and the ball. This is a knock-on over the goal line.
20-minute restart.
So no try. You've got to credit then
20.
The pressure that Tess Staines applied in that tackle.
Yep, and in those situations, one-on-one, that's what you need to do. You need to wrap up that footy, get yourself under that football and make sure that the football doesn't hit the grass. So she has done a great job there, Tess. So Great opportunity now. They've been let off from a try there. The Tigers just need some field
Olivia off the ball.
position. We need to get that
Straight.
footy up the other end.
Wait, lay shot, wait.
We've had 3 sets in this game. The Tigers completed 1. Christian Pio.
Off the ball, lay shot.
And the run
Rima,
mate
you
is
gotta hold.
already
Wait, Rima.
not a good look if you're a Tigers fan. Nevada George up into Newcastle territory.
Marcus straight, right side, wait. Go.
It's a tough watch up there in the Tigers coaching box.
Olivia off the arm, Marcus. Yeah, wait. Go. Free kick coming. Kayla. Okay, coming, Kayla.
Lutu. Out came Parker and then Bovetti Welch, who's out there in the centres. Linking with Thorne. And penalty here for the
Evie's
Tigers.
still on the legs, strip.
More than one in the tackle. And Sheridan Gallagher making the steal. So what an opportunity here for the West Tigers.
Yeah, they do have a great opportunity, so they all need to convert this into points, and if not, try and get a repeat set and build some pressure here for the Newcastle Knights. Make them do some defence.
Montana Clifford made her NRLW debut last week. Pio and George. And finds the offload. Nor had to go back, and it was a little clunky from the Tigers. Pio, Togatuki. Hilia Erasimbale, and a look to strike the hand of Talatina. It just all went to water there for the West Tigers, just not on the same page down that right edge, and now it's Tanika Willison bringing it back.
You have to give credit to the Newcastle Knights defence on that edge, though. They rushed up with some great line speed and put pressure on them there. So very disappointing for the West Tigers, but as we spoke about, I think their edges, they're learning how to play and attack during the warm-up. So obviously they're not used to playing with each other.
Sheridan Gallagher almost up to 100 metres already to start this game. Clydesdale. Higgins and Romanak now with Kapani. And she is going to earn a penalty here. She was desperate to get the quick play of the ball. And the Tigers with an infringement, just looking to slow Kapani down. You can see the little tug there from Clifford, tried to be sneaky.
Yeah, it was something that Brett Kamali spoke about after last week, not controlling the ruck, allowing the Brisbane Broncos to play fast. So I'm sure that they're trying to slow the Newcastle Knights down.
Short side option for Newcastle. Roach on to Willison, who breaks free. Tanika Willison on the inside. Georgia Roach is going to score. 14-0 Newcastle. It was only a matter of time for the Knights.
Newcastle Knights just playing fast footy, and the West Tigers just can't control them and slow them down. But it's just a simple missed tackle here on this edge here. Georgia Roach goes to the line. Willison just breaks through a really easy tackle there from McClone. She should have made that tackle one-on-one. And Georgia Roach is backing up, gets herself a try.
Well, a couple of things out of this try and out of this start to the game from Newcastle. In a sense, this is some of the best footy we've seen from the Newcastle Knights, especially attacking-wise, even across those premiership years. But how much is it attack and how much is it West Tigers just being unable to defend? What's that now? 16 missed tackles, Kyle.
Yeah, you've just spoken about 16 missed tackles. You can't afford to miss tackles, and that one there was just a simple miss. That should have been a tackle made, a simple miss, and it leads to points. So it was a little bit of a effect of what happened last week in the second half against the Brisbane Broncos as well.
So Sheridan Gallagher converts, 16-0 Newcastle lead the Tigers. They haven't even gone 14 minutes. Tanika Willison is just finding her feet after being part of that extended squad for New Zealand at the Paris Olympics. She won gold in Tokyo, was part of the extended squad, didn't feature in Paris, and Southwell is just testing out that ankle which she rolled in the opening minutes.
She's jogging, but seems to be still a little bit of a limp, so that will be interesting whether Ben Jeffrey does utilise her again.
You'd think he would be happy to rest her if they do not require her. They're sitting in a good position at the moment, 16-0 up. As Pilia Erasembale kicks off again, and there's a drop from Evie Jones. Well, even some of the best have done that, so Evie just taking her eyes off it. Maybe lost in the sun, Kylie.
Yeah, it looked like the sun, but I know down in that corner there, the sun does get right in your eyes there. But so good to see Newcastle Knight, her fellow players get around her. She'll shake that off. And it's a great opportunity now for the West Tigers.
Well, it's probably her first major blunder in the NRLW. She had such a great performance last week and a great start to this game, Evie. Pilia Erasembale, now McGlone coming back on the angle. And just crunched to the turf there by Rima Butler. Nor Togatuki. Sarah Togatuki always bustling and looking to get to the line. George, Lutu, and Vetty Welsh. On to Thorne. Can she get to the line? She's held up there and waltz over the sideline. Well, Newcastle this season, they've shown defence, especially here at home, and there's another example.
Play the ball in the middle. Play the ball.
Yeah, tough ask there for the West Tigers winger. She didn't have too much room to move at all, and the Newcastle Knights just turned up in numbers and took her over the sideline quite easily.
Well, the memory that stands out is that performance in round one from Newcastle against the Roosters, where they basically defended for most of the first half and they just kept turning the Roosters away time and time again.
And I think, yeah, Ben Jeffries early in the season had spoken about that they'd based their season on defence, so that was clear in that game you spoke about. And then obviously here, their line speed is always really fast, and they just get there in numbers as well.
Clydesdale beat Talatina initially, and then Salma Noor got a hold of her.
Salma, release grip. Don't play it on her. Go to defend line. Wait. Go to Paulie, comes in.
Just make
Oh, that looked tight.
Yeah.
And
Eye contact.
Togatuki coming through
Yep.
on Olivia Higgins. She apologises. No hard feelings there as Higgins was falling.
Sarah will be feeling bad about that, obviously being fellow New South Wales teammates this year, but once again, it's just the Newcastle Knights are just playing fast footy, and the West Tigers can't control them. Olivia Higgins jumped out, had a great run from dummy half, and then caught the West Tigers again, and hence Sarah having to come up with a tackle that was a little bit high. She's been put on report for that as well.
Georgia Roach finds touch. Here's Newcastle again, starting a set inside the Tigers' half. And straight to their New South Wales representative in Yasmin Clydesdale. Nita Maynard's come into the game at dummy half. Higgins, Upton around the back. There are numbers out to the right. Sheridan Gallagher, she was denied a double moments ago, and she will be denied again, will she? Yes. Well, Montana Clifford getting up there and keeping the ball off the turf.
Back 10.
She is threatening every time she gets the footy, Sheridan Gallagher, but she just can't quite get that second try.
It was great footy all round. Great footy from the Newcastle Knights and great defence from the West Tigers.
Christian Sandell, wait on the line. Give space, wait. Go 3.
Maynard, Higgins now in that roving position in the middle. Clydesdale accepting the pass off Upton. Back to Higgins. These offloads, they just have to be shut down by the Tigers. They're struggling to contain Newcastle. Roach, Willison skips on the outside. Lillian White. The Raymond Terrace Rooster with another try this season. Make it 3 in her debut campaign. 20-0 to the Premiers.
Yeah, we watch the replay here. It's just a nice early ball out to centre, and once again, it's just a miss one-on-one. McGlone on the centre. Should have made that tackle. Draws in the winger, and it's an easy pass off to Lillian White, who goes in for another try. But simple misses are just leading to tries for the Newcastle Knights, and something the Tigers really need to have a discussion about down there in that circle.
Well, that is inch-perfect finishing from Lillian White. You can see the legs were being hauled towards the sideline.
And so it's great work here from Georgia Roach, just giving a centre early ball, allowing her to beat her opposition centre, which, as we spoke about, is a back rower that has moved into the centre position. So a little bit of room, bit of footwork on her, draws in a winger, and it's an easy try.
So Sheridan Gallagher from the sideline to convert this Lillian White try. She captained Newcastle, Lillian White, in that Tarsha Cup Grand Final against that star-studded Illawarra Steelers side, which contains a number of current Dragons. And Gallagher unable to get it online, so she's 2 from 4. Newcastle leading 20 points to 0. And this is just wonderful work again from Tanika Willison.
Using that sevens background that she's got, giving her some space, allowing her to beat her defender one-on-one. Really easy football.
Great story as well, Kylie, that Tanika Upton has actually put her locker right next to Lillian White, because Lillian playing fullback, of course, in the Tarsha Cup, just to pass on the advice, and that's something that Newcastle have done this season with a number of their experienced players, putting their lockers next to some of the young guns.
Yeah, she's a great player coming through. Lillian White was also the fullback for the New South Wales 19s this year that beat Queensland, so she has a great future in the game, and I'm so happy that she's getting a start just even on that wing, and she's going to learn so much from one of the best fullbacks in our game.
Oh, the Tigers. Another penalty given away. Nita Maynard says, let's take the quick tap and keep the pressure on. You just cannot take your eyes off this Newcastle attack at the moment. They've basically had double the possession of the Tigers. Just keep scoring basically every time they have the footy. Maynard, Roach, and here's Clydesdale.
Let it go, Pauline. Lockie Brook. Go through. Brook, come 10.
Higgins on the inside forward pass. Forward pass comes from Newcastle. Don't forget, straight after this one on Channel 505, it is a Queensland derby, Broncos Cowboys, and then a little later from 6 p.m. in the NRLW, we're going to see the Raiders try and keep their season alive against the Sydney Roosters. So 2 NRLW matches to come to finish off round 6. But here in Newcastle, the Knights doing it easily at the moment. Ebony Pryor picking it up at the base of the scrum, who is back from a calf injury for the West Tigers. The Bulldogs recruit for 2025.
She might add a little bit of spark out there in the middle, Ebony. She's quite crafty around that ruck area.
Pryor and George just spotted a little gap there and able to chew up about 15 metres. Then the trademark offload from Nevada George, one of the best in this competition. Linked up with Penatani. Pilia Erasimbale and Staines. This is better from the Tigers. McGlone. And a penalty here
after the pass.
And this is for a late hit. Luke Saldern's just spotted on Pilia Erasimbale. That was Clydesdale, the guilty party, just coming in from behind.
Just wait. One report, level of force grade for whiplash, and it's late. Just wait, Ebony.
Clydesdale on report. And that hit on Pilia Erasimbale. Now the Tigers, can they get themselves on the board? Give themselves some kind of confidence here. Pryor out of dummy half. And Higgins able to wrap up the ball, prevent any offload there from George. Pilia Erasimbale to Talatina. George at first receiver. Lutu was wrapped up there by Shanice Parker. Space if the Tigers are good enough to the left, and Staines' pass just behind Thorne and Newcastle. Again looking to drive her over the sideline. Here's the last play. Lutu looking to rubber it through. Upton with a rare mistake, but she's able to make up for it, and it will be a goal line dropout for Newcastle.
Well, that was a great set from the West Tigers. Even though they didn't get points, they've built some pressure here now, and they're going to make the Newcastle Knights defend another set. I think they need to look at their offloads and some second phase play. Newcastle Knights' line speed is really good, so they're getting up and rushing the Tigers in attack.
Penatani back into the shoulder of Clydesdale and through it. Maynard as well. Unable to make the tackle, but Pryor has it at dummy half, and Lutu. And Christian Pio. Through the hands of Lutu. Don't know what happened there, but it worked out for the Tigers. Vetty Welsh and Tiana Lee Thorne. The debutante last week for the Tigers is playing it. Lutu with a juggle this time. Just a little discombobulated at the moment, the West Tigers. Prize putt, well, let's be honest, Kylie, the last 3 plays from the West Tigers were poor, to say the very least.
Yeah, it's very poor execution there. Had a great opportunity to put some points on there with a repeat set. And yes, as you spoke about, they just looked disorganised.
10.5 minutes remaining in this first half at McDonald Jones Stadium. And Kylie, let's be honest, what about the crowd here? The hills are absolutely packed. Crowd filing in here, the Knights annual mining round as well. So
a lot of orange vest, and it's great. And I know Newcastle Knights fans here, especially in their women's, got massive fan base here. So it's great to see the hills are filling up, the stadium's starting to fill. So great afternoon for some rugby league.
Maynard and Willison. Look at this from Tanika Willison. Just kept driving up towards the 40. Evie Jones to Albert Jones. Higgins and Roach. Do they look to spin it? Clydesdale's pass is a shocker and picked up by McGlone.
Pretty lucky the West Tigers there, that was forward, because they had numbers there, so been let off the hook, the West Tigers. Once again, another opportunity to get down the other end.
Well, so often she's decided against throwing the pass, and that time she thought, I better throw it, and just came out all wrong for Yasmin Clydesdale. So the West Tigers with a bit of momentum at the moment. They just would love to make it count. Pryor picks it up. Lutu. And now Vetty Welsh looking for some space around the middle. Such a dangerous player. George now. Stopped by Higgins, and then Kapani ensured there was no offload from Nevada. Pryor now sneaky out of dummy half. On the last, the Tigers. The pass low for Pilia Erasimbala, scooped up by Willison.
Once again, not a great end to a set there. The pass from dummy half wasn't great, which then put the pressure on the kicker, so would have been great to get another repeat set, build that pressure. Now the Newcastle Knights on third tackle, and Tamika Upton doing what Tamika Upton does and making 10 to 15 metres.
I had visions of what happened last week against the Eels, where she just spots that opportunity around the ruck and goes straight through. Well, that's what Parker's spotted here. Ball was stripped, so it's 6 more tackles. Georgia Roach has already got one. And she just ankle tapped on her way through. Romanak off the back. And still Kayla Romanak, almost inside the 10. Space out to the right. Upton, Parker, Gallagher. This time she's got a double. Sheridan denied twice. Not a third time.
Another try to the Newcastle Knights, and just way too easy here. We had the West Tigers down the other end, not finishing off a set. Tamika Upton just look here for the strip. Gives them another set of 6 tackles, and as I said, just ball through the hands. Tamika onto her centre there. And Sheridan Gallagher goes over for her 2nd try of the day, and I feel there's going to be more tries for Sheridan on that edge this afternoon.
I thought for a moment pass was going to be called back there from Shanice Parker, but referee Touch Jones said it was all good, and Sheridan's got a double. Sheridan's actually got 11 tries for the Knights. Tamika Upton is the Knights' leading try scorer in club history with 16, so she's tracking that down pretty rapidly, the Knights winger.
She's pretty lucky she gets to finish off some spectacular work from her teammates there, Sheridan Gallagher.
So you can see 4 tries in her last 3. She scored in her last 3, Sheridan Gallagher, and now she's got 11 tries in 15 in the NRLW. From the sideline, Sheridan, she hit that one sweet, right over the black dot. Newcastle 26-0 leaders. And this was the first, Kylie. Sheridan Gallagher getting over, opening the scoring for Newcastle.
Yep, they're both very similar, just through the hand, simple play. Ooh, could have been forward there too, but Shanice Parker just tipping it onto a winger, and then, yeah, great kick here from the sideline.
She can do everything. Sheridan Gallagher, former young Matilda, making the switch to rugby league, and she has been one of the pickups of the NRLW era for Newcastle, coming into the side last season. So the Tigers again kicking off, and Tina, who is into the game now for Newcastle, sends defenders sprawling everywhere. Maynard and Romanak. So Hannah Southall, you can just see there, she has got ice on that left ankle. And she will not be back for the remainder of the game. Newcastle happy to rest her ahead of upcoming weeks. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, as Parker bounced away from a feeble attempt. Who else but Upton alongside, and Tamika Upton is going to be denied. Janice Parker just held on to it for a little too long, and the Knights don't grab their 6th try of the first half.
This was great footy. Shanice Parker coming back on an angle, busts through there, and then out of nowhere, of course, Tamika Upton pops up. And yeah, she just got herself in all sorts then, Shanice.
To be fair, I thought the pass to Gallagher was more forward than that one.
But danger zones for the West Tigers there. We've got a centre now coming back through the middle there and busting through. They really need to tighten up their defence here, the West Tigers, coming into this halftime break.
Lay shot, Nita, get up. Lock in, square marker. Wait here, wait. Go 1.
Blue 2 now. Very Welsh, look at that, missed tackles 31.
Release!
And I'm amazed by every week. Tamika Upton, there'll be a break. She isn't seen anywhere, and suddenly there's Tamika. She's such a smart player. She can anticipate when things are going to happen, and she puts herself in great positions.
Oh, look at that from Albert Jones, just monstered Reinke. Knew she was going to get the ball and dropped her into the turf. Pilia Erasimbala, looks like it was just outside the 40. We'll get a check of that, but it was definitely inside the 20. Maybe a couple of metres. This is Albert Jones on Reinke. And this is Pilia Erasimbala. Look at this. Just outside, just outside. She absolutely nailed it. It would have been a 40-30. It would have been a 40-20.
You see Jessie Southwell on the sideline here now. Card and Georgia Roach is coming off.
Well, this will be interesting as Sheridan Gallagher looks to make another break. So Ben Jeffries forecasted this during the week. He said Jessie will come on probably around the 30th minute in the first half. So it's Roach who gets a breather. So now a Newcastle penalty. So now will Jessie link up with this Newcastle Knights attack? playing with Evie Jones in the halves, who replaced her last week and has that number 7 jumper.
Yep, you can see that Jess has gone back to her favoured right-hand side and Evie's come onto the left.
Natasha off the arm, Ebony square, middle, gotta wait.
Maynard. Oh, there's a decent bit of contact from Curtin on Maynard. Romanak.
Sophie off the back, Ebony lock in, no feet, gotta wait, Natasha.
We just witnessed Roach just put some ice on an ankle, so I don't think we'll see her for the rest of the afternoon, Benny.
So maybe it will be another injury for Newcastle. So
Tackle 4, you're locked up.
Out for the remainder. Well, George has had a pretty good game. Great first half. Upton goes to the short side onto Southwell. Jessie Southwell got the offload. Did it go forward? Yes, it did. The baton. That was from Shanice Parker.
This is a pet play from Tamika Upton. She loves those short sides. She's come down there late. Went for the fake, went short, faked long, went short to Jessie. Onto Shanice, and Shanice tried to tip that onto Sheridan, but it went forward.
You say, do you count that as 3 disallowed tries for Gallagher in this first half? You
definitely been a try there.
So we're saying she scored 2, had 3 disallowed. It's concerning for the second half for the Tigers. Talatina in what will most likely be the final set of the half for the West Tigers. There's been another rough match for them. Beaten by 30 last week by the Broncos. They do get a penalty though.
Right, when I call relation, you need to let go of the ball.
Can they hit the scoreboard before half-time, the West Tigers? And that's the thing, Kylie, in most games this season, even last week against Brisbane, they have been in the fight probably until the last half hour, but today they've just been blown away right from the start, and now an error on the first play.
Play on, play on!
Commentators curse there, Betty, but I agree with you. They have been in games, and then their execution just isn't.
Problems, massive problems here for the Tigers. Gallagher getting on the outside. There's only 40 seconds remaining, but that's more than enough time for the Knights. Southwell, Upton, beat 1 and 2, pulled down by Penatani. Maynard quickly out of dummy half, now to Evie Jones. Clydesdale looking for an opening is Yasmin. Found half a gap, still going Yasmin, can she get to the line? Just hauled back in the nick of time. Maynard goes out of dummy half, Nita is stopped. And this will be the final play of the half for the Knights. Higgins, Southwell, Parker, Sheridan Gallagher wants to make sure of it and couldn't. And the West Tigers right on the stroke of half-time with some great goal line defence to keep Newcastle out. But hang on a second. Luke Saldern wants to send it upstairs, does he? No, he doesn't. He says that is half-time at McDonald Jones Stadium. What a first half from the Premiers. Newcastle lead 26-0.
Time you're on, go front.
So the West Tigers kicking off in the second half, looking to stem the bleeding as the kickoff goes past Southwell, and then Gallagher picked up by Southwell. And for a very nervous moment, it looked as though she may have stepped on the dead ball line.
Ooh, I'd like to see how close that actually was.
I would too. It was perilously close for Jessie Southwell. And Newcastle get away with one from the kickoff. Here we go. Hard to see because the ball's blocking the angle. She has just tiptoed away along the dead ball line. This is Kayla Romanak for Newcastle, middle of the field. Jones. Now Clydesdale. She's already up over 100 metres from the work in the first half. Southwell on the final play with an end-over-end kick to Thorne. She is clutched there by Parker with Albert Jones. In the end, a pretty good set to start this second half for Newcastle.
good sets from Newcastle, but not a bad set from the Tigers either. Defensively, as we spoke about in the halftime break, they had 36 missed tackles in the first half, so I'm sure it's something that their coach would have touched on during the halftime break.
Coming in from the centres to do some work. And for the West Tigers. Prior to Curtin. Lutu the option on the last. Just a dink over the top. Chased here by Clifford and grabbed by Montana Clifford. But
last tackle change to make up for the ball.
Tackled by Upton and Gallagher.
Yeah, I think Lutu has rushed then to put that kick in, even though it did end up being quite a great kick for the West Tigers. But the line speed again from the Newcastle Knights getting up and putting pressure on her.
Well, more bad news for the West Tigers. We've just heard that Salma Noor is out for the game with a PCL injury. So that's the same injury Kezi Apps has. So he'll probably go and get scans, but you'd anticipate that is going to be season over for Salma Noor, who's been one of their shining lights this season at dummy half.
A little bit of added pressure there now on Ebony Pryor to play this full half in the second half. She's only coming back from a calf injury herself, so...
Tina, a strong carry there is Salma, unfortunately, out of this game. Southwell's kick is a dangerous one. It is floating, it's allowed to bounce, and it bounces into the lap of Thorne. Well, that could have gone anywhere, and for a moment it seemed as though Upton was best placed, but Tiana Lee Thorne, thankfully for the Tigers, able to grab it, and now Tess Staines. Taken by Gallagher. And a knock on a dummy half from Lutu.
Just a little knock on picking the football up, and it's not something you want this early in the second half as well. As you said, the completions in the first half were 8 from 14.
Newcastle with a scrum, middle of the field. No better invitation than this. They line out to the right. Southwell cut out pass. Gallagher's put it down. Sheridan Gallagher. She could have probably scored about 5 or 6 tries by now, Kylie. She's only got the 2. And maybe the pass just dropping on her at the last moment.
Yeah, look, in her defence, I think the ball did drop from Jessie Southwell there, but great vision from Jessie to see that there was some space there with Sheridan. But just that execution.
I'm sure Sheridan would say, I should have caught that and I should have scored. Remembering that no Newcastle player has ever scored, well, there's no hat-tricks for Newcastle in the NRLW.
Yasmin, stand, Marcus, straight. Wait.
Pryor and Russ and Barlett.
Vienna, stand up. Marcus, straight. Gotta wait.
Talatina. It's a good carry from Brooke Talatina. Up through the teeth of the Newcastle defence. Tina Owen Maynard making the tackle. Pryor. Togatuki. Rikey. On the last Pillia, Russen Barlett. Swirling a little bit there for Upton, but the reason she's one of the best players in this competition, if not the best. And she was ranked last season. She gets it back over the 30. Asking for a penalty from the referee.
I'm not quite sure what happened in that tackle, but she wasn't happy when she came out of it. But once again, you kick to Tamika Upton, you got to make sure. Here we are with the replay. Hair pull.
Definitely a little bit of high contact as well, it would seem, but that's spotted by the referee. Southwell hands it to Shanice Parker. She's threatened to break through again there. She did in the first half and almost set up a try. Maynard. Higgins straight at Ebony Pryor, and Ebony Pryor fell off the tackle, got the offload. Tigers have it though. The West Tigers come up with it.
wait.
But that was a concerning moment for the Tigers right through the middle. We know Kylie last week, Pryor missed about 10 tackles in that defeat to Brisbane, and that wasn't a good sign there.
Hold straight, you surrendered.
No,
Wait.
we did speak of that pre-game about the amount of tackles that Ebony missed in that game last week. So she is a smaller body, so obviously she's going to be a target for the bigger forwards through the middle. And when you've got players like Tamika Upton that are pushing in and around that ruck, it's, she needs to make sure she tries and wraps that footy up.
Blue 2, Cliff. Back on the angle for the Tigers.
Nina, lock in, Nina, wait. Go last. Nothing late.
Blue 2 here in the final play. Inside her own half, that's a good kick. And it does find the grass, bounces away from Tamika Upton. Over the 20, so the Tigers a bit slow to get down there and really put the pressure on Newcastle.
Everyone's looking a little bit slow there. Even Tamika picking that casually up and then passing off to Lillian White, so the heat must be affecting both sides there.
It is mid-20s here today in Newcastle, first day of spring, and it was spring, almost summer-like conditions at the back end of winter. Maynard up to Clydesdale, taken by Talatina, but then able to get the offload to Maynard.
Ebony, stand up. Straight at marker, don't play it on her. Wait. Go forward. Nirvana comes in.
Romanak.
Last tackle, Pauline. Yeah, go last. York, go 10.
Nearing the end of this set, Southwell with the kick, the pressure on Pollard. She was swarmed there 3 nights across, including Evie Jones and Lillian White.
Yasmin, stand up. Marcus, wait. Wait. Yeah.
Staines dropped into the turf. Olivia Higgins with Maynard. So the West Tigers, you'd have to say, have started this second half a lot better than they did the first. 26-0 it was at halftime. They've stemmed the bleeding to start this second half. Pryor scoops it up and gets the offload back, and here is Reiki.
Last tackle, Kayla, get up, Nina, lock in. Wait. Go last, keep coming, Nina.
This time inside the 40, Piliato Russimbala, but it's very central to Tamika Upton, who looks immediately to her right, and Tamika ran into the shoulder there of Bo Betty Welsh.
Great tackle in the end there by Bo, but once again, if you're going to kick to Tamika Upton, you've got to make sure you present a line there, because you only need to give her a little bit of space, and Tamika will be down the other end putting points on the board for the Knights.
Jones kept it moving on to Clydesdale. Evie Jones dummying. Couldn't slice through, did score on debut last week against the Eels. Carry in this set from the workhorse Clydesdale, with the last play upon Newcastle. And Romanak, sorry, he will be coming. No, it was the last. So I was confused there, because Tina there at first receiver on the last tackle. A strange option, and obviously Newcastle didn't recognise that.
A little bit of confusion there, I think, with the Newcastle Knights. But opportunity here for the Tigers now. Complete this set, get the football down to the other end. Get some field position and make it, the Newcastle Knights come out of their own end. This penalty's really going to help them.
Yep, that's it, go play on.
Bo Betty Welsh says, I'll just take the quick tap and go for it.
Stand, Nina. Marcus, both feet, gotta wait, Kayla, wait. Go on.
Togatuki in the second play. So the Tigers getting a roll on here. Pryor, this is where she's so good, out of dummy half with the speed. Piliato Russimbala. So for one of the first times this afternoon, the Tigers getting on a bit of a roll. Pio. This is where they wanted to target Newcastle, right through the heart of their defence, as Pio rolled away from the first. And Tamika Upton having to make the tackle, the fullback. As Pryor goes out of dummy half, and Ebony Pryor gets the West Tigers on the scoreboard. Finally, just her second game of the season, back from a calf injury. And they have been a lot better in their second half, and they get their reward.
Yeah, and it comes back from a couple of quick play the balls here and a roll on that the West Tigers got. Then Christian Pio gets the football, breaks the line. She's hard to handle. They couldn't get her on the ground, wasn't held, got up and played it again. Tamika was caught in that tackle there. So she was out of position. And in the Harvey Norman replay, Ebony Pryor picks it up and it's an easy try for the West Tigers dummy half. This is what she's so good at, Ebony Pryor, too, identifying when markers aren't straight or someone's not tight there at a defender, and she'll take her opportunities there. So as I said, we've seen Tamika was involved in that tackle and she was trying to get back on side, and Ebony identified that, and as any good dummy half does, picked it up and took a chance.
Part of the Tigers side that won the Harvey Norman Women's Premiership in 2022. And come through the ranks at the West Tigers, but she is off to the Bulldogs next season. They've got a few good recruits there. Preston, Andy Robinson, Ash Quinlan, Ebony Price, so building that roster nicely for their entry into the competition next year. Hilia Erasimbala converts, so back to 20 the difference. And we just got word through here, so Natasha Pendatani on report here for this hand pull. I don't think she'll have too much to answer for the contact there on Upton.
She sort of grabbed and then realised what she had and let go pretty quick.
Don't forget on Fox League, straight after this one, Newcastle Knights and the Gold Coast Titans from 2 p.m, followed by Roosters Raiders. Very important matches in the race for the top 8, followed by Sunday night with Maddie John. Montana Clifford just hanging on to the ball there. And now Christian Pio. So can the Tigers try and work their way back here? They've got another
short,
penalty.
10 metres, not quick 10 metres.
Not able to take the quick tap though, Christian Pio. Betty Welsh into the shoulder of Southwell. Came on for Georgia Roach just before half-time. That pass just cannoned out of the hands. Through Togatuki now, Reiki. Russimbala just behind Tess Staines, had to go back and collect, but Tess Staines, this is where she's dangerous. Great footwork from Tess. But it was Tamika Upton there with Higgins. The Tigers with the momentum. Lutu. Vetti Welch. Still by Vetti Welch, playing out there in the centres. Taken by Parker. Lutu's kick on the final play, and it's picked up by Higgins. Can she get it out? She cannot. So the West Tigers having a really good spell here.
It's a great set from the West Tigers, and then a nice little kick in there, completion of that set and get a repeat set. So they're building some really good pressure here on the Newcastle Knights.
Dropout, great distance on the fly. What's that, 45 metres, and then on the bounce, well into the Tigers half. Tess Staines, who is the fullback for them, bringing it back. Very nearly scored in that last set. Talatina taken by Kapani. Togatuki winding up and going inside the 20. Get another one here, the Tigers. All of a sudden, it really sets up the last 18 minutes or so of this game. Lutu and Clifford. So what's the option here on the last? Lutu is at dummy half. She steps out, links with Reinke. Reinke with the basketball pass. Pilia Erasimbale. They keep it moving to McGlone. And Cheyenne McGlone. She flings it back. Pilia Erasimbale. Now with Pryor. From left to right and back to the left. Lutu's kick. And it's pretty tame in the end. And Sheridan Gallagher. Problems here for the Tigers because Sheridan spotted space through the middle and she gets it back over the 20.
It was a great set initially from the West Tigers, but they just didn't finish it great then. The kick from Lutu probably wasn't what they needed. They needed to put that back into the in-goal and get some chasers down there and put some pressure on again. But look, I think they're looking so much better in the second half, the West Tigers. It's actually the Newcastle Knights that seem to be struggling a little bit.
Southwell taking a carry. Getting over the halfway line. Well, you just wonder, Georgia Roach, she went off just before halftime. Big loss for Newcastle. 26-0 when she did leave the field. Reema Butler bumping away from 2 and 3. Reema almost running away inside the 20. Willison through Higgins and Southwell to Upton. Upton trying to link with Gallagher. Parker's chasing it. There was one Tiger in the vicinity and Tiana Lee Thorne was the player to knock it over the dead ball line.
Great job from Tiansu, but Tamika Upton again puts a nice little kick in, then chases her own kick. Just lucky the West Tigers winger there was there.
Look at Reema Butler here, Kylie. Running over the top of Pilia Erasimbale, then Pollard. Pilia Erasimbale fell off the tackle a second time. She's so powerful. So this kick-off, this drop kick, I should say, is going out on the full. Now, as you heard the referee, it was contestable. That could be debated, but that's the new interpretation this year. Out on the full, so Knights will get to play the ball here.
Let's go.
Can they score their first points of the second half? The last try coming in the 28th minute in the first half to Sheridan Gallagher. Higgins. Tinner. Kapani and Butler waiting for it, but Higgins just dummies. A little confused and went to Upton. Clydesdale. Willison. Their attack looking a little punky in their second half, Newcastle. Clydesdale with the contact of Togatuki. And now they'll get a penalty.
This actually turned into a crusher, Goffey.
Heard the explanation. Crusher tackle on Clydesdale. And here's another set for Newcastle. Anything you notice about the Knights' attack in this second half, Kylie?
Exactly what you just mentioned. It looks very clunky, and it looks clunky coming even from the dummy half. She's looking around Livia Higgins to see who wants the football. There's obviously no communication on what's happening down there. I've seen Jessie come back onto the field and replace Roach, so and Evie Jones has shifted to that left side where she's normally on the right. So a couple of changes there.
There's no doubt it hasn't worked as well as what was happening in the opening half an hour, but Reema Butler, she'll be tough to stop right through the middle. Higgins, Southwell, Upton, Parker, the pass, just couldn't find Gallagher. She has got a hat-trick sitting there right in front of her. She just cannot quite get there.
I think that is the fourth try that Sheridan probably should have crossed for, and it's just execution on that last pass has let them down again, the Newcastle Knights.
I think it could be even 4 or 5. She's had a chance to score. She's already got 2. We've got 5. The Fox Labs counted 5, so she could have had 7 tries, Sheridan Gallagher here today. Unfortunately, the pass just not going to a chest on that occasion as the Tigers with Curtin, Lutu, now Pollard.
Stand Simone. Both feet. Wait. Last tackle, Yasmin. Lock in, Marcus. Simone, lock in. Wait. Go last.
Ogatuki. Deputising it dummy half, and Pilia Irasimbali with the chip and chase and dived on by Rima Butler. Well, what can't she do today? She's been eating up meters right through the middle, and 11 tackle bust. Now she's cleaning up chip kicks as well.
Yeah, it was great work. It was great pressure from Yasmin Clydesdale to put pressure on the kicker, which they didn't end up getting a great kick away, the West Tigers. So
Stand now, Montana.
back their defence here and try and keep the Newcastle Knights in their own half.
So the crowd building here in Newcastle. The hills are absolutely packed for this doubleheader today. Knights and the Titans coming up in the NRL. You'll see it right here, live and exclusive on Fox League. Sunday ticket beginning right after this one, as Jesse Southwell got pulled back awkwardly after that kick, but it was all above board, and now Tess Staines is taken by Jones and Clydesdale.
Yasmin straight. Both feet. Gotta wait. Wait. Go.
Pollard goes for a scamper.
Lay short. Stand up. Olivia. Straight. Wait. Yeah, fine. Go to. Wait. Simone off the ball. Halfway line. Go 3.
Curtin pinches about 10 metres, maybe 15 there. Sophie Curtin, always good impact from her off the bench. Togatuki.
You notice Curtin has shifted into that dummy half role as well, with Ebony going off for a rest.
Pilia Irasimbale spinning like a top. Gallagher's knocked it on. It was a little bit trickier than maybe it looked initially, because it was sort of wobbling up there for Gallagher, but it was straight to the chest.
Yeah, should have been taken there by Sheridan, but I've seen a little bit of a shift here. The West Tigers starting to build some pressure here. Their completions have increased. They're up to 72% now completion rate, so the Knights are down to 62%.
Well, they don't look the same side as we saw in the first half hour. That is for certain Newcastle. They're up 26-0 since that point, 6-0 to the Tigers, as the Tigers throw it away on the first play. But that's not to undo all the good work they've done in the second half to this point. They have been a whole lot better.
Definitely been a whole lot better. But once again, you can't afford to hand the football over to the Newcastle Knights, because people or players like these two, Tamika Upton onto Yasmin Clydesdale, will make you pay for handing the football over to them.
Higgins, Parker, Gallagher through the middle, Sheridan. Romanak, Upton, Southwell. Now Shanice Parker doesn't have Gallagher outside her because she just made that previous carry. Final play for the Knights. Southwell at a dummy half just chips it into the arms of Tiana Lee Thorne.
There's a bit of an odd kick there. She had her back rower chasing as well.
Oh, there is a lifting tackle from Higgins. Textbook as she put Vetty Welch into the ground. P.O., the offload, bounces up to Vetty Welch. Inside pass, Lutu. By Kapani.
You see Livia Higgins looking to the bench there. I think she's looking to see if she can get a rest. She's played the full game so far, and being hot out there, she shifted from dummy half to the lock roll. So could be an opportunity for the Tigers to just get down through that middle there with a bit of fatigue with their players.
Shilia Irasimbale kick back towards the centre for Upton, and now Gallagher. So this is what the current scoreline means for the live ladder in the NRLW. Remember, a bunch of teams on 6 points going into this round. Newcastle go to 8 with the 2 competition points from this win. They'd go up to second, plus 44. That's a very healthy for and against. Cronulla leading the way though, 6 from 6 after that win over the Titans yesterday. Clydesdale and straight into Togatuki. One of those players you want to try and keep away from as an attacking player is Romanak. Now they arrive at the last. Southwell doing all the kicking lately. Taken by Tiana Lee Thorne. Tess Staines, who has really come back well in this second half after what was a most difficult first half for her. Pilia Erasimbala. And she's thrown it straight to Albert Jones. Maybe there was a call there from Layshot.
Yeah, there must have been a call there for the football, and it's unfortunate for the West Tigers, but they're going to have to really muscle up in defence here now. They've done such a great job this second half.
Have not scored since the 28th minute, Newcastle. They led 26-0 at that point.
See, Nita Maynard's come on now, and Libby Higgins has gone off for a rest, so Nita will add a little bit of spark around that ruck.
Evie Jones to the left. Clydesdale. Now Upton. Tamika Upton. And she's held by McGlone. Great scramble from the Tigers. Maynard. Now Reema Butler. You would have thought impossible to stop, but the Tigers have done so. And maybe illegally so, as the ball was stripped out, it would seem. So Ben Jeffries up there, Caitlin Johnson-Green, also Abigail Roach, who's out of this game with a hamstring injury, bit of hamstring tightness for her. Romanak, just a strong run from Kayla Romanak, and she's got it to the line. Straight off the tap, and Newcastle finally have some points in this second half. Kayla Romanak with her first try of 2024.
Yeah, and it's quite an easy try for her as well. Just a tap here, hard run. 3 defenders there from the West Tigers. They just didn't have any urgency off their line. She's just bustled over the top of them. Tess got in front of her. They'd given away a penalty with a strip ball, and they just needed some urgency in that set, and they didn't have it. And I'm sure Coach Brett Morley won't be happy with his side after they've been so dominant in the second half.
Well, Kayla Romanak just seemed to identify Tess Staines there in the line and went, well, I might run straight at the fullback and see if I can burst my way through, and that she did. Sheridan Gallagher. So this is interesting as well, because Jessie Southwell's back on the field. This is the first try they've scored with her on the field, so she's not going to take over the goal-kicking duties. It will be Sheridan Gallagher who continues. And she's missed. From close range, Sheridan. She's kicked one from the sideline, and she just pushed that one wide. So Newcastle 30-6 leaders with less than 6 minutes remaining. And after all their good work, the West Tigers, that's a very soft try to concede. So Simone Kapani on report for that tackle on Lasana Lutu. So she might have something to answer for. I wouldn't think so, but you never know. And Sophie Curtin is also on report for the West Tigers. So
Jeez.
a few to keep track of. So this is the report for Curtin on Clydesdale. Contact to the head there, so a couple of players, and now another penalty. Is there another player going on report? This is a crusher tackle.
I was meant to comment that Yasmin's copped a few today.
Yeah, a few players in the wars at the moment. can see that crusher from George on Tinao. And don't forget, straight after the NRL and NRLW season this year, October 18, the Pacific's biggest sporting event is back in 2024. Witness great against great as the very best men's and women's players from 7 island nations compete for glory and pride. You can grab your tickets at nrl.com/tickets. And we cannot wait for the Pacific Championships back in 2024. Matches here in Australia, also abroad. Referee is putting Nevada George on report, so there's another one. Racked up in the last 5 minutes. The match review committee might bit of a late session checking through all of those.
This shows the little bit of fatigue that starts happening with the West Tigers, and they give away these cheap penalties and then handing the football over the opposition as well. As we spoke about, they've done such a great job to get themselves back in this second half and had been the better team.
So Rima Butler with carry number 9 for her. She's over 100 metres in this game as Rima. Maynard. Romanak. Is there another try for the Knights in the final minutes of this one to give that points differential a big boost? Upton and Willison fend away from McGlone. They've been strong that edge for the West Tigers defensively. Clydesdale. So Newcastle lined out to this right-hand flank on the final tackle. And Southwell is going to send it there. Upton, Sheridan Gallagher, it bounced up. And it's still the last for Parker. Just not getting the service he would like, Sheridan Gallagher. And time has been called off. Luke Saldern has just received a tip-off from Peter Goff. Now, I think Sarah Togatuki is going to be in some
just go back there for a moment.
hot water here.
Okay, Sarah!
This is the tackle on Rima Butler, so she's left the field.
Come back on.
She's trying to sneak off. I think she is about to spend some time in the sin bin.
She's already been put on report today for a crusher tackle as well. So
okay, in that set of possession, you made direct contact to the head with moderate force, no mitigating factors. You're on report near the bin.
So Togatuki, who is going for a spell,
Give me a penalty, Bo.
she is going to jog off. So the Tigers down to 12 for the final 3.5. It's been a rough day. Gets even more challenging right here at the tail end. Tough day for Brett Camorley. And unfortunately for the Tigers, it's going to be 6 straight defeats to start this season. And 13 in a row since they started their history so well. They won their first 2 in the NRLW. They've not tasted victory now for 13 weeks in this competition over the last 2 seasons.
they've had glimpses though, Benny. They have looked good.
And Tinao's lost it.
Challenge?
And they are going to challenge. So if the bunker didn't need any more work, here's
Captain's challenge from the Knights, challenging decision of lost ball.
Here's more for Peter Goff to run his eye over.
Come on. Someone else.
Looks to be hands all over the ball.
Newcastle still have possession of the ball at this stage.
She lost it, Kylie.
Yeah.
Newcastle always maintain possession of the ball. The challenge is successful.
The tackle's been called complete before.
So Newcastle get the call from the bunker. They'll keep that challenge for the final minutes and a chance to add some more pain for the West Tigers. Rima Butler.
Off the ball! Marcus straight! Wait.
Maynard and Southwell, Shanice Parker. That was well read, very well read by Thorne, and the ball's come out. And the Knights get another penalty.
She pulled the ball out to the tackle.
Here we go. We've got another captain's challenge, have we, Kylie?
Yep, they're going to challenge it here, the West Tigers.
Come off, Coffee.
And I actually do.
Captain
I
challenge
think
for
this
the
is a great
Tigers.
challenge. I
Real
think
decision
Shanice
on the
actually
strip between the tackle.
loses it into contact.
It's been a stop-start final 5 minutes to this game. So how will this challenge fall?
At this point, there are 2 defenders in the tackle, and the ball is stripped. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Okay, challenge successful.
all
No
over
more
it.
challenges. Time
It was
on.
great defence though. And once again, just giving away a silly penalty. They'd done great work to come up and put pressure on Shanice there.
Well, it's a packed house here at Newcastle. Can they give the home fans something to cheer about with a try right on full time? Maynard, Tina, Vienna is charging so close to a first NRLW try. Maynard almost too close. And players swarming from everywhere, and Montana Clifford got it by the collar. Southwell, Upton, Tamika Upton, powers away over the line. There's the fullback's try. A great finish from Newcastle. 34-6 the lead now.
Now, once again, you just see Tamika Upton. She can sense there's an opportunity, sweeps around onto this short side, backs herself, gets the footy, and just runs over the top of them. But as I said before, she loves to run down the short side. And it was just great work by Tamika Upton. Tigers had every right to stop her there. But she's such a threat, and as I said, she can just identify when there's opportunities. She was on that long side and could sense there was an opportunity on the short and come swinging around, demanding the football from Jessie Southwell.
So most tries in the NRLW. How about that top 5? Tegan Berry, she was on fire yesterday, leading Tamika Upton in that race. But important to note, Kylie, second half Newcastle's tries, they have been one-out plays. Romanak and Upton just basically taking on the line themselves.
Yeah, we spoke before, Benny, about the West Tigers were a much better side in the second half. They'd obviously done their homework to shut down that edge defence or the edge attack from the Newcastle Knights, where they'd scored all their tries, especially down on this right edge with Shanice and Sheridan, as we see Sheridan miss her goal. So they'd done their homework during the half-time, shut that attack down, and I thought they've been the better side. But once again, they just give away silly penalties, which just lead the Newcastle Knights, or give the Newcastle Knights some footy. We can't forget that West Tigers today were out without their 2 star centres as well, have been outstanding for them.
Yeah, and Kezi Apps as well on the injured list. It's a really tough season for the Tigers. So final 31 seconds. Sheridan Gallagher's about 50 metres off the run meters NRLW record. So then maybe that's something to look out for in these final seconds, if she can make a break. But if she can't, Jakai Whitfeld will hold on to that mantle as Upton goes across to Evie Jones, and Evie almost sliced through for Newcastle. Maynard, Reema Butler, happy to take that carry for the Knights. And it's the Premiers, back-to-back wins for the Knights. It was comprehensive against the West Tigers. They raced out to a 26-0 lead at half-time, and they consolidated in the second half. Newcastle go to second on the NRLW ladder. 34-6 they win it.